So if you're stuck because you think you need to be clear about what's next before you get started, I have news for you. There's a better way. There are 10 elements that tend to be present when we really live in that state of manifesting or in that state of flow. And each of them are covered in one of the videos in this series. So what is clarity about a future state? If we're not talking about being clear about a specific goal or destination, what exactly is it? Well, there are 3 key elements here, and each is equally important. The first is being clear about what feels like it's in alignment with what I'll refer to as your soul self. This is the part of you that exists without any of the shoulds, the expectations, or those external pressures. When we feel most free, we are capable of doing those things that need to get done, even the hard things, without them sucking the joy out of life. The truth is, we get to hold both of these things at once. Being clear with yourself about what is alignment for me feel like? What does freedom for me feel like? What would I be doing if I were fully expressing my true self? That's the piece of clarity that's important here. The second pillar of clarity is an open-hearted approach. When we come from a place of fear and need, we're actually limiting what's possible for us. When we choose from love, we're able to both give and receive. And that kind of leads naturally into the third pillar, and that is service to the greater good. When we ensure that our what's next is in service to the greater good, everything opens up. But here's the tricky thing, especially for those of you like me who tend to be people pleasers or the helpers in the world. Service to the greater good doesn't mean being selfless. It means being part of something bigger than yourself. And in those places, you are both giver and receiver. So why do these 3 pillars matter so much? Well, first, alignment with the soul self, that's the authenticity factor. When we're aligned, doors open, energy flows, we are invigorated and empowered, and synchronicities start to happen. When we're misaligned, when we're out of alignment with that soul self, we feel tired, we feel burnt out, we feel resentful, we feel disempowered. Everything feels off, and believe it or not, we miss opportunities that are right under our noses when we're in that state. Open-heartedness, that's the expansion factor. If fear contracts possibilities, and it does, love expands them. In fact, fear-based goals are the thing that underlie most of our self-sabotaging patterns, because we know that we're misaligned, because we know that we're afraid. And when we open our hearts, we open ourselves to unexpected opportunities. Being in service to the greater good is important for both obvious and not so obvious reasons. The obvious reason is our purely ego-driven goals. I want this trophy, I want this thing. They move us forward. It's okay to be ambitious. It's okay to want to achieve those things. But once we have them, it rarely feels as good as it felt exciting to work toward it. The part of this that's a little less obvious is that it gets to be for you and about you too. Again, service to the greater good doesn't mean being a martyr. It means I get to build this thing and serve in this way, and it's good for me too. So service to a greater good is the sustainability factor. It keeps us moving toward this best life. It keeps us moving to keep growing, to keep evolving. So far, we know that when you're searching for what's next and you don't have a specific goal in mind, just setting one is not the best place to start. In fact, the kind of clarity you're seeking is very different than that. So how do we reach this kind of clarity? How do we get from not even knowing what we want to this deep, aligned, authentic clarity about a future state? Start by tapping into that intuition, that gut feeling, that heartfelt feeling. How do I want to experience my life? How do I want to feel every morning when I wake up? How do I want to feel every night when I go to bed? Spend some time in nature, journal, look inward. Just tap in and notice the words that come up. Once you have a sense of what those are, give yourself some time to reflect. In what places of my life do I feel that way already? In what parts of my past have I felt that way already? What things about the future excite me because they feel that way? Just let yourself reflect on the things that connect. And then, my friends, right there, right then, time to take some action. We think we need to know the destination before we get in the car and start going. When we're creating change and growth in our lives, that clarity comes from action. It comes from experimenting with our reality. It comes from trying new things, testing them out, seeing what connects and what doesn't connect. So to be clear, when we're talking about living in a manifesting state, when we're talking about manifesting the life that you want, clarity is not about goal setting. It is not about the destination. It's about the process. It's about the practice. It is about the way you live and engage in your life. So if you're a woman over 50 and you're eager for what's next for you, make sure you hit that little like and subscribe button and tick that notification bell so that you're made aware the next time we drop a video in our manifesting series. Until next time, my friends, big love.